Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing another item from Piorama. Piorama is a US-based company that make a range of bags and little sort of like organizational accessories, if you will. And today we're looking at the Trinity Pencil Case. So I recently reviewed the Piorama Omni, which I will link to down below and try and put a little link thing just up there. And that is a laptop sleeve and desk organizer all in one. And it is a great piece of kit. I use it all the time. And so when Piorama asked if I would like to review the Trinity, I said absolutely I would. These are really well-made products. They're super well thought out. They're interesting. They've got tons and tons of features. And this pencil case is not just an ordinary everyday pencil case. This has a lot going on. Just quickly cutting into this video to say that I will link to the Piorama website in the video description, so you can shop the website through that link and throw a little bit of support in the way of this channel. But I'll also include a little bit of information about how you can get a discount on this, the Trinity Pencil Case. So look in the video description for all of that. So let's talk about the parts and features. As you can see on the front here, it says Trinity, and that's in like a sort of like a clear print sort of thing, if you will. So like depending on how the light hits it is how you're going to see it, in sort of darker situations or against the light, you're not necessarily going to see it as clearly, but when it catches the light, I think it's kind of cool. The material is 900D nylon, so it's super durable, super strong, quite rugged. It's sort of got a nice sort of form factor to it. It has SBS zips with nice sort of rubberized pull tabs, which I find really very easy to use. It's really good. On the front here, I'll start and work my way to the back, because at the back I think is where it's most interesting. Zip opens up all the way and it reveals this open section with these mesh pockets. So it's got two larger mesh pockets down here and then three smaller mesh pockets there. These are great for your smaller accessories. Because this opens up sort of, a good 3/4 of the way, it's not necessarily, a pouch you can store things in. Although, if you were careful about how you access things, you could definitely tuck things down in there. In the middle, we have this big open catch-all area. There's a little bit of sort of a size in here, like there's a bit of room. It's not super big, but it will fit a few sort of smaller items. I carry a charging brick in here, things like that. I've been using this as a cross between like an everyday drop kit sort of bag and a pencil case. This is what goes into my bag and is taken out of my backpack and put in my satchel as I'm going from different job to job, and it keeps all my essentials sort of organized. And that's what's great. This is great for it. So sort of slightly things like cables and the charging dock and that kind of stuff. And that zip works beautifully. That zip only goes sort of like halfway across. So, it's a good sort of catch area. There's also a little sort of taggy bit just on here, which is, it's a loop. So if you wanted to attach a little something, you could probably do that there as well. Then we get the Piorama tag there with their logo on it. And then we get this back section. You can see it's got this sort of cable across with a little tag bit on it and a loop. So here is the pen roll aspect of it. So you can roll that out and you've got 12 elastic loops for pens across the roll here. And then it's got like a little sort of area for the, to sort of sit into at the bottom. And then another zippered pouch on the side here for sort of flat items. I carry a little brass ruler in here. I'll do a pack out of this in just a little bit as well. I just wanted to show the features with it empty. One thing I will say is I've been carrying this now every day for I think it's about 10 or 12 days. And everything works beautifully. Firstly, I've been using it on all of those days, not just like transporting it over, because I've been rehearsing and stuff. So I've needed pencils, I've needed my my Lamy Apple pencil, as well as chargers and things like that. It's really good. I'm not noticing, like, apart from some little bits of sort of fraying around some of the seams, which is normal on a lot of these kinds of products, very easy to sort of clean up. There's no sort of big, massive wear and tears. A few, like, you can see a couple of, like, basic sort of scuff marks, but those are the sorts of things that sort of came out relatively easy and don't impact the performance of the kit at all. One really nice feature with this roll is the fact that this is adjustable. So this clip, or the little the clasp there, is what's going to catch on that loop to secure that pen roll in place. Now, if you've got it relatively empty, that can be quite tight. But then if you are carrying more, you can expand that out, which gives you room for the expansion of this. It's a really nice piece of gear. It's got enough features to make it usable in a multitude of different ways. However you need it to be used, you can. If you're an artist, you wanted to carry your art supplies and all that kind of stuff, perfect. If you wanted to use it for makeup, like I can absolutely see, like rolling this out and having little makeup brushes and things in there. Great for that. I use it as as I said, like my everyday carry sort of gear, carry and pencil case. It's great to be able to combine the two into one. As I said, it's made of a good solid material. The size, it's like 20 centimeters by 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters, which is roughly 8 by 3 by 3 inches. It's very, very nice. It's lightweight. Of course, the weight is going to depend on what you carry in it. But it's durable, it's rugged, it does all the things. So what does it cost? Well, this is $38 US, which is not inexpensive for a pencil case, but this is, as I said, not your everyday pencil case. It's got, your catch-all spots, good pen cases, the roll of it. It's made from durable material. It's beautifully well made. It's strong, it's rugged. So I think for $38, you're buying a piece of gear here that serves a lot of purposes, is very durable and usable, but yes, not inexpensive. Okay, let's do a little pack out of this. We'll start here in the front, seeing as though this is where we are. And so this is absolutely how I've been carrying this every day. So I have different kinds of pencil lead for the various mechanical pencils that I carry, and they fit absolutely perfectly in those little mesh pouches. And then have a pencil sharpener here, a nice brass pencil sharpener in a little Galen leather case. That fits very nicely into one of those sort of shorter compartments. I carry a pair of loops as an opera singer. Having a good quality sort of, hearing protection is important because rehearsals get dangerously loud. And then I carry an eraser, and I'm carrying a Tombow Mono, just simple plastic eraser. I cut the sleeves down to keep it sort of neat and tidy, and once again fits very nicely in there. You could put more in here, you could put different kinds of things, but this is literally how I've been carrying it. Then let's go to this main sort of catch-all compartment. As I said, I've been using this for things like some cables, so I just have a couple of basic cables for charging different devices and stuff, and then a charging brick. This is a big old heavy one, but it does an amazing job. It's got a great little capacity on it, all that kind of stuff. Okay, then we get to the roll here. Let's start by putting that brass ruler into this compartment here. Now, this is a very good flat compartment, so having the brass ruler in there is perfect for that. You might want to put a couple of papers or whatever in there as well, stickers, that kind of stuff, whatever you like to carry. Okay, now time for the actual rollout here. So I've been using this to carry a few essential bits and pieces that I use. And one thing in organizing it that I found is as I roll it out, if I put the things I use most here, I have the easiest access to them. And so I kind of work my way across based on, how much I need ready access to the bits and pieces. So I'm going to start at the far end. I'll work my way across. So I just put a simple fine liner in there. I then have a standard sort of highlighter here. It's a slim highlighter, but it fits nicely. A Sharpie marker, very good. I have a pair of little sort of compact scissors, which I always have to remember to take out when I go to the airport because I've had to give up a couple of pairs of those over the years and it annoys me. And then a wood case pencil in here. The next thing I have is my Lamy Safari Note Plus digital pencil for the iPad, which I tuck down into there. Now that's starting to stretch that elastic. These aren't super big loops, but they definitely do the job. And then I have 3 fountain pens I've been carrying. As I said, I carry a lot of my pens in a, in different cases. So I've got like a Galen Leather 3-pen case, which has at the moment like my Pelikan M1000 and things like that in it. But for sort of more sort of standard pens that I just like to have on hand, the Cross Townsend, the Pilot Custom 74, and then the very, very lovely Tom's Studio fountain pen, which at the moment I have the most beautiful British Racing Green from Mont Blanc ink in it. Loving using that. But you see they fit nicely. Bigger pens, you can see by the length of that black wing there, you're limited in terms of length around that 20 centimeter mark, but also in terms of width, you also don't have a whole lot of space between things. So this is more for like, I would say slimmer carry. And then the 3 everyday pieces I use the most, the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen, the Wingback brass mechanical pencil in 0.9, and then the Lamy Logo Plus ballpoint pen, and this has the new M17 Jetstream refill in it, which I absolutely adore. They all fit really nicely. Now, one thing you'll see is as I roll that, it does bulk out a little bit there. You can see that it's it's probably pushed to its capacity, and then that elastic is a stretch to get on there, but that's a good thing because it's secure. It's not going anywhere. But that is my bulked out sort of carry. You can see it holds a good amount of stuff. It does add significant bulk, obviously, but you're going to be carrying this stuff. It's going to add bulk regardless. But this is a nice compact and convenient way of carrying all of that and having easy access. As I said, first things I need are always right there, and then things I use less, I put over here. So it's a nice sort of convenient way of having access to all the bits and pieces you need for everyday life. Let's talk about some pros and cons here. Okay, I'm going to start with the 2 cons I have, and that is they're actually both to do with the pen roll element of this, and they're not cons necessarily, just things to be aware of, because basically the rest of it all kind of works. First thing is that it is open on that side. On the bottom, we have that little flap that goes over the edge, which protects everything, stops it from falling out. This side is open, so depending on how you carry it, just be aware that your things are accessible. You can either, if your things are loose in there, they're going to be loose, but otherwise, just be aware that in terms of things like weather or even just banging against things, it is open on that side. That could be easily remedied by putting another flap on the top portion of that, and I kind of that would be one suggestion I would make going ahead for Piorama on this product, is to add a second flap on the top that you can just sort of tuck things into on the top as well. The other thing to be aware of is that the size of your product will affect how you use this. So if they're bigger items like that Lamy Safari Note Plus, that's sort of stretching the elastic, and then things are really close together. And the other side of that, of course, is that if you're carrying sort of more expensive pens and things, they will make contact around those elastics. But also slimmer items, like I'll just use the Blackwing pencil here. They are relatively loose. So once again, with that open side, just be aware that it's not going to take a whole lot for things to be removed from there or fall out. But those are just things to be aware of. They're not really cons, because there are lots of products like this. But yes, a little flap on the top there, similar to this bottom flap, would be great. But I have lots and lots of pros with this product. First thing is, I really love the capacity, having that larger catch-all section in the middle there. And I've not packed this out super tight either. There's certainly room for more in there, which is great. Same as in this sort of front pouch. The capacity is really, really solid. Also having 12 slots for pens or pencils or whatever you're carrying, that's a good amount to have on hand. I love the organization of it. The main 3 compartments, the roll, the open, and then the mesh pockets, as well as that little side pocket on the inside of the roll there. Great organization, allows you to use it as you need it. I like the convenience of it, being able to have all my pens and stuff on hand, as well as a few other bits and pieces. And I just, as I said, I take this out of my backpack. My daytime rehearsals are long rehearsals, and then when I go to a nighttime rehearsal, I might take a satchel or a smaller bag, just because I don't need a full day's worth of stuff with me. And so I can take this out of my backpack and put it into my satchel, and I've got all those bits and pieces that I would need everywhere on me. So it sort of takes the place of a number of different products. I also really love the durability and the build quality, because it's that strong material, because it's got all this nice edging on everything. Good quality zips, well sewn. As I said, 900D nylon, which is, has some water resistance. Like, there's no AquaGuard on the zips or anything like that, but it'll have some water resistance, but it's durable, it's strong. It's, like, your things are protected in there, and that's really essential for me. So I think the Trinity Pencil Case from Piorama is a great little product. There's a lot in it. It can hold a lot. At $38 US, I think it's good for the price. It's, you certainly pay a lot more for other brands with sort of products that have similar or less features. So Piorama doing cool things as they have been doing. As I said, follow the link in this video description to, sort of help support the channel and check out what Piorama do. If you've got products that you think I should be looking at, I would love to hear from you. It's your support that makes this channel possible. A massive thank you to Piorama for providing this and the Omni, which, as I said, I'll link to as well, the review of that. I really, really enjoy these products and these sort of like organizational carry stuff, and particularly like being a pen and stationery person. These are very, very cool. So big thank you to them. So enjoy your products, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.